we're still endeavoring to understand the nature of emptiness. The other day when we were together at Jayas, it was reminded that it was said on Sunday that we have to dive deeper. But we can ask ourselves, what are we diving deeper into? And the answer in these circumstances is Satchitananda, or existence, knowledge and bliss. But existence, knowledge and bliss, or Satchitananda, we can say is one word and put those three syllables together. But they're still separate dimensions in terms of our awareness: existence, nitty-gritty, knowledge, intuition, innate knowingness, and bliss, which is ananda, or which is also interrelatedness and the understanding we have of the interrelatedness of life. So there are, in actuality, to our consciousness, three different dimensions of life. But you know, Satchitananda, or existence, knowledge and bliss, is sometimes called the ocean of oneness. It's synonymous with the ocean of oneness. So it makes sense then, and justification, to say we have to dive deeper, because we can indeed dive deeper into an ocean. And we know the ocean's attributes. We know its wetness, we know its fluidity, and we know its saltiness. And we understand that in relationship to what the ocean is. But in our understanding of Satchitananda, or existence, knowledge and bliss, what could we know as being that which is like the ocean, in our understanding of the ocean and its qualities, that is related to existence, knowledge and bliss? And if we are able to come to an awareness of this, we come closer. In fact, we enter into emptiness. So this is an endeavor that is there in these stories and in the exchanges that we have. So if we look at it now as attempting to unify within ourself these three dimensions of life: existence, knowledge and bliss, Satchitananda, knowing that it's synonymous with an ocean, knowing that the ocean's qualities that we're well aware of, the wetness, the fluidity and its saltiness, are intrinsic to the ocean. What is it that these three qualities or dimensions of life are intrinsic to? If we can find this in ourselves, we then move closer to understanding emptiness. Not the nature of emptiness, because the nature is Satchitananda. The nature is existence, knowledge and bliss. But in ourselves, we've not brought them together as we can so easily with our understanding of the ocean and the qualities of the ocean. Does it make sense for us in this way? If we can bring this together in ourselves, then emptiness and life have no separation. Just as we know they are. You can't have emptiness without fullness, or fullness without emptiness, or stillness without movement, or movement without stillness. It's like the wave and the particle, and so forth. But anyway, let's lighten up a bit. You know, not so long ago, there was an introduction to this character called Birbal. And he's somewhat like Mula Nasruddin. But to my reading of him, he's not got the same qualities as the Mola does, because Mola is really a mystic in disguise, a roughshod mystic. And Birbal, whilst he had very humble beginnings, he's a very beloved and minister and advisor of King Akbar. So he's there, but he's got some distinct messages for us and qualities that assist us in what it is that we're endeavoring to do. And this story is about Birbal. Birbal had the tendency to, whatever was happening with anyone in their life, he would always say, everything is always for the good. Well, this was his catchphrase, everything is always for the good. And King Akbar woke up in a pretty foul mood one day, and he'd cut his finger rather badly, slicing a very delicious piece of fruit. And when he came with his bandaged finger to Birbal, Birbal said, everything is for the good. Well, King Akbar lost his cool and he said, I'm sick of hearing this. That's all you can ever say, is everything is always for the good. Put him in jail, I'm tired of hearing all this nonsense. So poor Birbal was taken off to the dungeons, wasn't he? But King Akbar, to take his mind off his woes, decided to go on a hunting trip with some of his courtiers. He went off and they hunted and they caught a lot of animals, but they got a bit hot and tired, so they sat down to rest. But just as they were sitting down to rest, King Akbar noticed a deer running by. So he quickly got up, jumped on his horse and chased the deer, leaving all his courtiers behind him. Well, the deer led him on a merry chase right into the forest, and he got completely lost. But while he was lost, a band of wild human beings, tribe, savages, caught him, and they immediately decided that they were going to offer him up to their gods. So in the course of preparing him to be put in the pot, whatever it was that they were going to do, they noticed his bandaged finger. And they had a little confabulation about it, and they decided that their gods would not be happy to have this offering that had this cut. This wasn't a thing that they could do to offer. So they set him free. So he went off and he was able to join his courtiers. He was very, very happy. And when he came back to his palace, of course, he let out Birbal and he said, I'm very, very sorry, because it turns out that, if I had not had my cut finger, then I would have been sacrificed to the gods of these savages. So what you say is really true. But then King Akbar had a thought. He said, but what about you? You said that, and I threw you in the dungeon. So, everything didn't turn out to the good for you. Said, oh, said Birbal, but indeed it did. Because if you hadn't thrown me in the dungeon, I would have been accompanying you on the hunt, and I would have been with you when you got caught by the savages. And because I didn't have a cut on my finger, they would have sacrificed me instead of you. So everything turns out pretty good. So we can ask ourselves, how does this relate to our ocean of oneness and our endeavors to find the nature of emptiness? But I think we can all understand this relationship now in these simple sayings of life. Why do we come to this place? Why does our mind come back to this place now, which has a recognition that everything is for the good, in fact? Isn't it so? So how can we then equate this with this relationship with existence, knowledge and bliss? And to my awareness, it's very, very simple. It goes together, doesn't it? That phrase in itself, in whatever way we couch it, is an indication that we've already brought those three levels of life together, isn't it? So in ourselves we already have this awareness of the relationship of these three dimensions of our life. The nitty-gritty, cause and effect, our intuitive awareness, our perspicacity, and our experience of the interrelatedness of all of life. So Bhagavan might not be a mystic, but he's certainly, well, he's a tool anyway, and we're using it.